Hey, what's up guys? Alex here with a new video, and today I want to talk about SIRUI's new Sniper Series prime lenses for Sony APS-C. If you're new to the channel, I am a portrait photographer based out of Miami, Florida, and I primarily shoot with Sony and Leica. A few weeks ago, SIRUI reached out to me and asked me if I was interested in reviewing their new lineup of lenses, and I jumped on the opportunity. A few key details here. SIRUI developed 3 lenses hand in hand to match the same build quality, same size, same filter thread, and same aperture. And that's pretty cool because not a lot of companies are doing this. As a matter of fact, I think only Panasonic and Leica have a set of lenses like this. So the Sniper Series Prime kit essentially comes with a 23mm, 33mm, and 56mm f1.2. Now, translated from APS-C to full frame terms, you're looking at a 35, 50, and give or take 85mm equivalents as far as focal length goes. These lenses are also built pretty well. They come in 3 finishes. The black one I have here with a carbon fiber finish. They come in a white ceramic and a cool silver chrome look that's also available. They're going to be coming for Sony E-Mount, Fuji X-Mount, and Nikon Z-Mount. And at $350 on paper, these lenses look like they are an awesome set. Unfortunately, it's not the reality. So this is not the video I wanted to make. As a matter of fact, I wasn't even planning to do a talking head video for these lenses. I actually went out on location with my wife and was planning to do a behind the scenes shoot, showcasing these lenses, their image quality, and kind of a real world scenario. Unfortunately, that's where the problems started. So as I was filming this video, I can kind of show you some clips here and behind the scenes. I noticed that my A7CR all of a sudden froze when shooting with a 23mm f1.2. Caught me by surprise because I had never had that camera freeze on me, but I also thought, hey, the camera's a little bit new, so there still might be some bugs. So I started using my Sony A7R5 with the 33mm 1.2, and shortly after, my A7R5 started to freeze. Now it was like, wait a minute, I've owned the A7R5 for well over a year, camera's never frozen on me, and now using this lens, the camera's freezing. Coincidentally, both cameras are freezing. As a matter of fact, let me kind of play some of those clips as I was shooting and kind of experiencing these issues. Kind of comb your fingers through the hair, perfect. Look at me again. Looks great. The camera just froze. It's never done that.
That's not good.
It's pretty frozen. That's interesting. I just turned the camera off and it's just still, very very frozen. So let's see. Let me pull the battery out. This is fascinating. I've owned this camera now for a few months and it's never done that. So all right, where were we? Perfect. I love it. Up.
It's hard to...
Guess what happened?
Oh, it froze.
It froze. Y'all. Got a beautiful frozen screen here again. And I think I'm gonna call this a wrap for right now because you might not see it, but I'm very frustrated. This is just not cool. Let's finish this in the studio. So what started off as a fun behind the scenes shoot automatically ended in a very frustrating shoot, and I ended up cutting it short because I was not happy with my cameras freezing. I did email SIRUI and they did tell me they are aware of this issue and they are working on a firmware update, but as it stands today, this issue alone makes it hard to recommend these lenses. Any lens that kind of causes your camera to freeze is hard to recommend because if you're shooting a big moment, an important moment, you can't afford for that to happen. But what if that was fixed? Are the lenses any good? Well, yes and no. The build quality of these lenses is actually very solid. I'm actually very impressed because at $349, they feel better than most premium lenses. The finish they're using is great in the hand, they feel sturdy, and build quality wise, I'm really impressed. Autofocus could use some work. It's not as good as a native lens, but it's not terrible either. I think I experienced about a 90% hit rate using these lenses, so there's room for improvement with firmware, but nothing to really knock it or not be happy about. Image quality, unfortunately, is also a different story, and actually a tale of two lenses. So the 23mm f1.2 is the better lens here. It's sharper, and it's actually somewhat usable at f1.2. Now here's the problem. Lately, the last 2 or 3 years, I want to say every modern lens I've tested is incredibly sharp, wide open. It's actually been a very long time since I've tested a new lens that isn't sharp, wide open. And from that perspective, I think I've gotten spoiled. So when I noticed the 23mm f1.2 wide open was just okay, I was a little disappointed. But 23mm, 35mm equivalent at this size, I was willing to forgive it. Now the 33mm f1.2 is a whole different story. That lens is not really usable wide open. It is just mushy, not sharp, tons of chromatic aberrations, and doesn't perform well at all. As a matter of fact, it doesn't really sharpen up till around f2.8. So between 1.2 and f2.8, it's really hard to use this lens unless you're looking for that hazy, soft, and purple fringing look. Now you can argue that, hey, if you want to go for the vintage look, you can achieve that with this lens. But again, it's a tough sell because there is other lenses out in the market, like the Viltrox 27mm f1.2 that only costs a little bit more, that will give you extremely sharp results wide open and through the entire range. I didn't test out the 56mm f1.2, so I really can't comment on that, but I can say out of these two lenses, the only one worth giving a look is a 23 1.2 because the 33mm is just not sharp and, in my opinion, not a good look. So on paper, the idea of these lenses was great. Execution from build quality was also great. Unfortunately, the image quality and the firmware issues I've experienced just make these lenses a hard sell. I am including some image samples like always for you to download and check out yourself so you can pixel peep and see the image quality and see if this is something you might be interested in. To wrap things up, again, it's hard to recommend these lenses. Like I mentioned earlier, for the last 2 or 3 years, I feel like every modern lens that has launched has been sharp and has really surprised me and punched above its weight class. This is the first time in a long time where I'm pretty disappointed by the image quality. Again, we gotta keep things in mind though. These lenses are $350, so you're not really paying a ton, but there are alternatives that are also in the budget class that do deliver the image quality, and that's what makes these a hard sell. But as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please smash the like button, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good one, guys. Peace.